The game we've all been waiting for is finally here. Was it worth the wait? Perhaps. Let me just get this out of the way now. Is it better than the comparable Call of Duty World at War on Wii? No. Why? Because the multiplayer experience could be greatly improved. That having been said, let's jump into this review. The single player experience is really what High Voltage spent most of their time on, and it shows. From the first level to the last level, this game's got some surprises and some very challenging enemies. For this review, I played on the default settings, and I died at least 10 times per level, if not more. The main thing that keeps the game flowing, but is not so enjoyable, is that there are no cutscenes during each level. Which is fine, but between levels, instead of having a nicely rendered cutscene, instead you get a dialogue box between you and Mr. Adams or you and Prometheus. It's really boring, and you can't skip it until almost the end because the level is loading. There are puzzles to solve to unlock secret hybrid weapons, which are some of the coolest weapons in the game, but have limited ammo, so you have to use them sparingly. Some enemies take more than just a few hits depending on what weapon you use, and some other enemies just plain won't go down. The AI is really smart and will come to find you and chuck grenades at you almost perfectly, so you can't stand still. One thing in particular that was complicated was trying to use the all-seeing eye to destroy invisible bombs while I was being attacked. It made the game very complicated. Overall, the single-player experience was fun and only lacked in the fact that there was no cutscenes to excel the story, and some of the levels were overly challenging. There's also a set of achievements to keep you replaying until you get them all. It unlocks some concept art as well as other unlockables. The controls took a little bit getting used to, but after about an hour or so of adjusting to my liking, it is in fact the best way to control a first-person shooter game, hands down. You can adjust literally everything and map pretty much any control to the button you want, except you can't map reload to the Wii Remote Shake. That kinda pissed me off. There are also a bunch of sensitivity controls for the Wii Remote and nunchucks, so if you want the guy to pretend he's on steroids, you can turn them up all the way. The control type I found most interesting was the camera style. Selecting a different types of camera style made it easier to shoot and lock onto enemy players versus having a wide range of view. Personally, I enjoyed the steadier camera and less range of view. Finally to the multiplayer. When I first logged into Nintendo Wi-Fi connection, I was expecting to hop onto a match rather quickly, but that didn't happen. After I had found everyone, it had to authenticate, which took about 2 to 3 minutes. Then after everyone connected, we had to vote on match type, weapon set, and map, which took an additional 30 seconds. Then we had to wait for everything to load, and then after 5 minutes or so, we were finally playing the game. Perhaps Call of Duty multiplayer ruined me, but I kept finding myself wanting to push the run button, and couldn't. The Conduit's multiplayer just seems so slow compared to Call of Duty, and therefore it makes it not as intense. Also, when in a heated battle with someone else, it seems like you have to unload almost an entire or 2 entire clips into them before they die, and sometimes you even have to top it with a grenade. I don't know if it was just lag or if that's how the game's multiplayer physics actually works. Last time I checked, when you shoot someone, they should die, not take 2 clips and a grenade and still have enough life left to kill you. Can the multiplayer be intense? Yes, at times when there are multiple people in the same area, but it could really use some work. If High Voltage could fix the taking 2 clips to kill someone's server side, I would be playing this game online a lot more. But I don't see myself playing online for longer than a couple of months if this does not improve. Other reviewers claim this game to be the best shooter on Wii. Control-wise, yes. Content and innovation-wise, not so much. Just a few simple tweaks could have improved the multiplayer, and adding a few cutscenes here and there would have made the story much more enjoyable. All in all, this is a really fun, worth-buying shooter that will provide you with a couple months worth of gameplay and fun, but is not as fun and doesn't hold the online multiplayer value that Call of Duty World at War does. The final verdict, the Conduit scores 8 dead drudge bodies out of 10.